Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. Jeremy Rockcliffe has locked in the support he needs to remain Premier, with independents Christy Johnston and David O'Byrne signing agreements. It's just over a month since election day. Both have kept their freedom to vote with their conscience as Tasmania's next parliament takes shape.
A former Labor leader helping strengthen Liberal Premier Jeremy Rockcliffe's position.
I think this is an unusual circumstance for a number of members of Parliament, and at the end of the day, we can either have our egos at the front and it's all about us, or we can focus on the things that matter for the Tasmanian people.
David O'Byrne and fellow independent Christy Johnston have made public their agreements to provide the Liberal government supply and confidence, giving them 19 of 35 seats.
The point being to ensure that the Parliament itself is workable, that we don't have political shenanigans and silly games that waste time.
Unlike the Premier's agreement with the Jackie Lambie network, labelled too restrictive, it doesn't go much further than that, both reserving the right to vote how they like day to day.
If the government doesn't stuff up, they don't have a problem, and that should be the case with every member of Parliament.
Whether Jeremy Rockcliffe will have to pay the toll down the line is unclear. Both minority partners have raised issues of access to parliamentary lawyers, while Christy Johnston's raised issues around resourcing, saying she'd like extra staff, better facilities and more.
To ensure that everybody in Parliament can actually come to that chamber and to be able to work in the best interest of Tasmanians.
This is a person who said her vote wasn't for sale, then issued a list of demands.
There's one big caveat on David O'Byrne's deal.
It's not an agreement or it's not an understanding with the Liberal Party. It's with Jeremy Rockcliffe as Premier for the period that he is Premier.
A clause which gives cause for reflection if anyone else is looking for the top job. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Overspending and the battle to find a chief scientist have been at the core on the final day of an inquiry into the Australian Antarctic Division. The Senate hearing into the AAD wrapping up, with leaders further grilled on budget mismanagement and claims the inquiry has revealed a division in turmoil.
The final inquiry into the Australian Antarctic Division saw some big questions left unanswered.
Whether money was being spent as it was promised, whether the $804 million, the bulk of which was supposed to go on Antarctic science, whether that is in fact being spent on Antarctic science programs.
The fifth hearing returning to Hobart, with Tasmanian Senators John O'Daniel, Peter Whish-Wilson and Katrina Billick on the panel. The division's lack of a permanent chief scientist, a major issue.
The chief scientist plays a critical role in providing strategic advice on the prioritisation of science. So it's a critical issue. Industrial
action affecting the Noyina icebreaker and broader voyage funding raising concerns. Suggestions around introducing a second ship also on the table.
I think having a second ship, while we might not be building and operating our own second icebreaker, getting extra sea days funded is going to be critical.
Questions over a lack of action by the Environment Minister's office when a $40 million overspend came to light. But Tanya Plibersek claims it's due to mismanagement by the former Liberal government, adding it's locked in additional funding for the program for 3 more years.
I don't think they realised that that was going to be the straw that broke the camel's back.
A Senate report detailing recommendations is due to be released May 8.
It really does come to the government now about what they seriously want to do, and that's where the rubber hits the road, their response to those recommendations.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania has emerged as the big winner from a national grant scheme to help heavy industry become environmentally sustainable. Operators of Railton's historic cement facility hope the cash injection will secure the plant's future for generations.
Maintaining a century-old facility to ensure it meets modern emission standards is not an easy task. But for the Cement Australia factory in Railton, it's essential for its survival.
When a Tasmanian sees a challenge, they really see an opportunity. And over those last 100 years, they've taken those opportunities.
That's why the business is undertaking an upgrade to its kiln and accelerating its switch to alternative fuels. The federal government granting $53 million towards those works.
We're very, very pleased with the announcement made today that secures the future here at Railton.
We are partnering with businesses and industries like Cement Australia to ensure they can compete in a decarbonising world.
It's one of 4 Tasmanian projects getting a share of the $330 million Powering the Regions Fund. Grange Resources receives a combined $20 million to electrify their Savage River iron ore mine and to move away from anthracite in furnaces at the Port Latta iron ore pelletising plants, while Liberty Metals gets a $700,000 boost for an alternative energy trial. The federal government hopes the grants will help future-proof Tasmanian industries, with demands to decarbonise growing. Chris Bowen wants to see enough renewable energy generated for businesses to reduce their carbon footprint by 2030.
That's a challenge, an enormous opportunity for our country as well. So that means we do need more renewable energy generation.
Mark Zeta, 7 Tasmania News.
Flu cases have surged to new highs, with Tasmanians encouraged to book in their flu vaccinations early. Nationally, it's been the worst March on record. Health experts are warning this is just the beginning.
Bracing for an influenza influx much earlier than expected.
People in Tasmania might get the flu earlier and more severely.
Technically, flu season is yet to begin, but cases are already surging, double what they were this time last year.
More worryingly, there has been way more cases, like 10,000 more cases throughout Australia, and Tasmania always tends to be a couple of weeks behind the mainland.
To get ahead of the anticipated record winter wave, Tasmanians are being urged to roll up their sleeves now and arm the community's immunity defence early.
Getting vaccinated now gives you protection right through the winter, at least 6 to 9 months of protection.
We know that getting a flu vaccination is your best way to avoid getting ill during this period.
Tasmanian health insurer St Luke's is hoping to do just that, offering free flu jabs to its more than 71,000 members.
They can get their flu vaccination at any pharmacy guild pharmacy across Tasmania.
As health experts look to avoid immunisation fatigue, with concerns some haven't kept up their usual vaccine routine.
It's a great opportunity to make sure that people are protected from diseases that can be quite devastating, and also put a great burden on our emergency departments.
Calling for Tasmania to follow other Australian jurisdictions and offer free vaccines for all.
We believe that everyone should be vaccinated. It's a great public health measure.
Victoria Risto, 7 Tasmania News.
There's a new #1 in the golf world, and it's a Tassie course stealing the title of Australia's best from a perennial winner. King Island's Cape Wickham taking top spot in Australian Golf Digest's respected top 100 list. The crowning of the decade-old public access course is causing quite a stir. It's just the second time in 40 years Royal Melbourne has missed out on #1. Tasmanian businesses will soon have a better chance at securing government contracts. The Liberals delivering on a key election promise, increasing requirements for its buy local policy.
Demonstrate how their Tasmanian business is local and is able to employ local and invest and reinvest into wages and community benefits in our local region.
It certainly gives us the confidence to continue to train and develop the people within the company, looking forward for future jobs as well.
The change will take effect from August 1 when the current scheme ends. Puppetry is putting smiles on faces of elderly Tasmanians. An interactive drama therapy program from Terrapin Theatre is aiming to boost the health and wellbeing outcomes for aged care residents living with dementia or depression.
Not just child's play, puppets being used as a form of therapy across Tasmanian aged care facilities.
The puppet has a really incredible role in unlocking something in these residents living with dementia.
Developed by Terrapin Puppet Theatre, Forever Young hopes to spark joy, engagement and boost moods among the elderly.
This program aims to tackle some of the challenges in building relationships with many of our clients and those in the community that are living with age-related illness.
Joining forces with the University of Tasmania to explore the therapeutic and cognitive benefits.
There's a lot of research that shows the benefits of having arts in aged care.
From provoking laughter, sparking smiles and even conjuring up chatter among those non-verbal. The program also helping to stimulate memories, using old world items and events to help resonate with older people.
It's been developed very much in consultation with them, so it has a really direct relevance to the audience.
Terrapin Johnson have worked with aged care facilities across Tasmania over the last few years to carefully craft the program, taking on feedback from residents and staff who've seen Forever Young, incorporating it into the final product. They'll take the show on the road until July. Rebecca Gaidaneris, 7 Tasmania News.
Anzac Day clashes are always special for those involved, and tomorrow will be no different with an inaugural women's match in the SFL. While Lauderdale's hopes of a much-needed second TSL win get a huge boost as a club legend returns from a hamstring injury.
There's a major roadblock standing between North Hobart and an Anzac Day victory, as Lauderdale's 3-time Alistair Lynch medalist Sam Siggins returns to the TSL fold.
He's such a good player for us, good leader, really versatile in where he can play.
Glenorchy and the Tigers will be continuing tradition, playing on the historic day for a special honour.
The two clubs for the last 8-9 years have been playing for the Fred House Shield, and Fred served across Glenorchy and Kingston RSLs. It's something that's pretty special to both clubs.
Archie Devine, son of Demons legend Robbie Devine, had to work hard for a spot to make his TSL senior debut.
Archie, last night I put it on him to, if you kick this goal, and I think he might have been 45 out on a 45-degree angle. I said, if you kick this goal, mate, you're playing, and he's gone back and he slotted it straight through the middle post high. So there's no issues there with his goal kicking, that's for sure.
The Suns soaking up the excitement of a historic first Anzac Day clash for the SFLW Second Division.
What a really exciting opportunity for both teams, for Brighton and for the Suns. A really commemorative occasion. So this is just an absolute honour to be able to play on this really special day.
Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
Two Northern footy legends are being honoured in the NTFA this weekend. There's a fierce rivalry between Georgetown and Hillwood, but Gary Crane and Rod Green were expected and pivotal members of both. Playing as rivals and teammates at different points in time, the pair will be honoured when their old clubs face off this weekend for the inaugural Crane and Green Shield.
You wouldn't find anyone that had a bad word to say against either of them, and the respect that those blokes got through their personal life and their working life and their footy life, would be unrivaled in the competition.
Hillwood come in sitting third on the Premier Division ladder.
We think we're in a good place. We obviously had a setback last week, but we're going to try to rectify a few things to counteract that. We know Georgetown are up and coming. They've recruited really well, and as I said, it's going to be a really tough game on their home deck as well.
The Shield match will become an annual fixture between the two clubs. He's had a standout season in the Cricket Tasmania Premier League, a barnstorming performance at the National Championships and a trip to South Africa for the Under-23 World Cup. And now that Riverside all-rounder Aidan O'Connor has finished high school, he's heading south, signing a 2-year rookie contract with the Tigers.
Great to have that guarantee of the year after as well, just to get down there and sort of settle in, get to know all the boys, and hopefully try and impress the coaches and the teammates as well.
Even though Southern clubs are circling, there's good news for the Raiders. He still plans on playing Premier League in the north. After an 0-5 start to the NBL 1 season, the Tornadoes get a huge boost this weekend as Keely Froling returns to Launceston. They've been missing the experience and leadership of the Opal and dual WNBL champion, who's taken a few weeks to recoup after a huge 12 months.
Obviously coming off WNBL season, Asia Cup, previous tours, all that sort of stuff, so it was nice to have a little bit of a rest after last WNBL season.
She's been a massive part of the Tornadoes journey that I've been on. Just to have her skill set, her leadership experience is, that's what we've been lacking so far.
They play Ballarat on Friday in Ulverston and host Casey Cavaliers at Elphin on Saturday, who are also yet to win a game.
Good evening. Hobart and Burnie 15 today. Launceston the warmest of a cold bunch with 17 degrees and Devonport a high of 16. Some temperatures down by 5 degrees as colder air pushed in as the front passed. Low Head and St Helens 16, 15 at Smithton, Friendly Beaches, Bushy Park and the Islands. Grove and Strawn 14 today, Lyawini a top of 7. Now after that cold front moved on, leaving 34 millimetres at Nunamara and 30 at Pyangana, conditions cleared before more low cloud moved mainly over the west. Scattered convective cloud developed over the tropics today and through Queensland. An onshore flow had the cloud driving over southern coastal parts of the nation. Tomorrow a large high tracks over the Bight and extends across most of the country. A couple of troughs there east and west. Southwest winds providing another cool aspect tomorrow, up to 25 to 30 knots, but stronger over the far south with a 5 metre swell. And we do have a gale warning that covers the coast from Wineglass Bay to Low Rocky Point, a strong wind warning for remaining coastal waters and the Central Plateau lakes, and the warning to sheep graziers continues mainly over the southeast due to the cold and the strong westerly winds. Hobart tomorrow, another cool day, 15. 50% of a shower for Cygnet, but also 50% that it won't rain, 14 the top and 15 for New Norfolk. Launceston, fine, partly cloudy and 17. 16 for Devonport. Campbelltown, a high of 15 degrees. Burnie, partly cloudy, 16, 14 the top for Strawn with showers, 15 the high for Smithton, while for St Helens a partly cloudy 17 degrees and 15 for Swansea and Fingal. On Friday, fine and partly cloudy, apart from the shower over Strawn and possibly King Island. Another shower over the west on Saturday, but partly cloudy for the rest of the state. Struggling to warm up as well on Sunday with showers increasing over the west. Some cloud over Perth and Adelaide tomorrow, a shower and 16 degrees in Melbourne. A cold start in Canberra, 1 overnight but a fine day later. Sunny in Sydney and okay in Brisbane and 27. Mostly cloudy in Hobart, it's 12, 11 right now in Launceston, 12 in Devonport. And if you're not sure how to get involved tomorrow, the RSL website has all the information on the various marches and also the dawn services, Kim.
An important day. Thank you, Murph. And that is all your news for now. We'll be back later with updates. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everyone.